Good morning, I'm Joe Fryer.
I'm Savannah Sellers. Right now on Morning News Now, out of control. Extreme heat and wildfires are taking over the West Coast this morning. In California, thousands are without power, with officials warning more blackouts are likely. And on the East Coast, millions are cleaning up after downpours, flooded roadways, and travel disruptions. We're tracking what's ahead this morning. Legal battle. Right now, the Justice Department is deciding whether to fight a ruling from a federal judge allowing a third party to review the documents seized at Mar-a-Lago. The next steps in the investigation. Plus, the new reports this morning about sensitive information FBI agents allegedly found in those documents. Paying up. The future of the e-cigarette industry up in the air this morning after one of the biggest names, Juul, settles a multi-state lawsuit claiming its marketing and sales practices targeted teens directly. The restrictions the company is now facing as they're forced to pay up more than $400 million. And on-air scare. A local news anchor suffers a stroke during a live broadcast. What happened during those frightening moments in front of the camera and how she's doing this morning. She is okay. That's the headline. But she's sharing a message that could hopefully help some people.
And we're going to hear from her both hours, actually, this morning. So we'll have complete coverage of that story.
Absolutely, a little later this morning. But we begin with the extreme weather we're seeing in both the east and out west.
Yeah, in the Northeast, summer storms unleashed torrential rain, stranding motorists in Philadelphia, collapsing roofs in Rhode Island. While in the west, brutally hot and dry conditions are smashing records and fueling deadly wildfires. With most of California under a heat alert, officials there are urging people to reduce their power use, warning that the power grid cannot withstand the demand. NBC News meteorologist Michelle Grossman will have the latest forecast for us in a moment, but we want to start with NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson, who is in Burbank, California. Steve, good morning. I mean, this heat wave in California has gone on for more than a week now, and there is real concern over the power grid there. What's the latest?
Yeah, Joe, you know, the first thing I have to say is that by no means is this over. These emergency alerts, this extreme weather expected to last at least the remainder of the week, with the alerts not expiring until about Friday night. But the next thing I have to say is that if there was a decisive battle in Alamo, Helms Deep, it would have been the late hours of last night. And by and large, California officials say, thanks almost primarily to the conservation of its citizens, we avoided rolling blackouts last night, but man, were we close. We were at an emergency alert 3 sometime around 6 o'clock or so last night. And emergency alert 3 is when the demand outstrips the supply of the grid. Had we made an emergency alert 4, that would have been a total capsation of the system. That would have meant rolling blackouts across the state, which you can imagine would be its own dangerous situation. But we got one of those alerts on your phone, almost like, you know, getting an Amber Alert where it just takes over your whole phone. Sometime around 6 o'clock last night as well. That was from California officials. Those officials say almost immediately after that, they saw the numbers drop. Those conservation numbers went up. The numbers of energy usage came down immediately. That saved us. That saved us from those rolling blackouts. The citizens listened to the demand, listened to what was going on, and they made a change. I wish I could say that that would mean it's not going to be hot again today and tomorrow and the next day. It's still a very, very dangerous situation, but we made it out of one of the worst scenarios possible.
Yeah, if only Californians could actually control the temperature by their energy use.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those times when you need air conditioning, you need energy. Yes. So what are officials saying about how to stay safe while also reducing their energy use?
Well, I mean, obviously, you know, you don't want to be out in this whatsoever for any length of time. And if you are, you have to stay hydrated. It is so, so crucial. And if you feel anything, if the sweat that it normally is just pouring down at all times stops, that means you're in an early phase of heat stroke and they tell you to get indoors. Conservation, though, is really the big deal here. This is not over. I have to say it over and over again. So using your appliances in those crucial hours, anytime between 4 and 10 p.m. It's called a flex alert. They're telling people just to help us out. You have to stop that because, you know, if you keep doing that, the grid will get overloaded. We'll get to a situation in which, you know, they could think about rolling blackouts. That's not good for anybody. I want to tell you, we broke the record for energy usage despite all of this last night. 52,000 megawatts. That's never happened before in California history. We did it, and we did it without, you know, a huge disaster.
And Steve, it's hard to imagine being a firefighter in this heat. They're facing multiple wildfires, including one in SoCal. It's called the Fairview Fire. It's killed 2 people. Quickly, what's the latest on that one?
Yeah, we expect another briefing this morning, maybe in about an hour and a half or so. But, you know, it remains still only 5% contained or so, 2,400 acres. That number will go up. 7 homes destroyed. That number inevitably will go up. We're expecting to learn a little bit more about how this happened and the 2 people that became trapped and unfortunately lost their lives in that fire.
All right, Steve Patterson reporting from California. Steve, thank you.
And now our weather coverage continues with your Morning News Now weather check.
Meteorologist Michelle Grossman is here with that. Hey, Michelle, good morning.
Hey there, guys. Great to see you. And we're going to see those temperatures continuing, as Steve said, once again today, also tomorrow, Friday, and then a little relief comes over the weekend. Still well above normal for this time of year, but not well into the triple digits. So today, 50 million impacted by a heat advisory or an excessive heat warning. The excessive heat warning is in the pink. That includes Redding, Sacramento, Fresno, Los Angeles, San Diego, Phoenix, and also Las Vegas. We're going to see those temperatures really soaring once again. So sizzling still out west. We're looking at temperatures 105 in Salt Lake City, and these temperatures are 10, 20, even 30 degrees above what is typical for this time of year. Denver near 100 degrees at 16 degrees above average. Fresno 109, Sacramento 109. Yesterday they made it to a high of 116. Still today, 18 degrees above what is average for this time of year. Now notice Thursday and Friday still into the triple digits in so many spots. Bakersfield 107 on Thursday, 106 on Friday, but there's that small relief. They'll take any relief. So by Saturday, we're looking at 97 degrees. Palm Springs, 86. That's going to feel a lot better. And Las Vegas into the low 90s. Now, we're worried about the wildfire risk. Once again, we're at an extremely critical risk. I'll show you that graphic in just a minute. But we're looking at 65 large fires burning. Lots of smoke. It's impacting the air quality, and this smoke is being carried as far as the Midwest. So we're going to continue to watch that story because that's going to be a big one as we go throughout time here. The winds are blowing today. We're also looking at the chance for some severe storms. So we do expect some dry lightning. That's when the rain evaporates when it reaches the ground. We're looking at winds gusting to 60 miles per hour at times, and that's why we're particularly concerned about this fire threat. Where you see that hot pink, that's an extreme critical risk. That's in the northern plains, the high plains, and we're looking at those winds blowing. It's so hot, it's so dry, so conditions are ripe for wildfires. As we go throughout the rest of today, guys, we're looking at showers and storms in portions of the southeast and could see some lingering showers in the northeast as well. Back to you.
All right, Michelle, busy morning. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Michelle.
This morning, there are new developments in the search of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence.
Citing people familiar with the matter, the Washington Post is reporting that one of the documents seized by the FBI, quote, describes a foreign government's military defenses, including its nuclear capabilities. It adds that some of the top secret documents are so closely guarded that many senior national security officials are even, quote, kept in the dark about them. NBC News has not confirmed the Post report, and the Department of Justice declined to comment. We've got NBC News Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley here on set for more on this. Julia, great to have you with us in studio. Good to see you. So first, just walk us through some of the key details of this report. What is Trump's camp saying about it? And if confirmed, what implications does this have for the broader investigation?
Yeah, it's so good to be with you guys talking this through in person. So, like you said, we haven't confirmed the details of this yet, but the Washington Post is reporting that this is about key details of a foreign government's nuclear program. We don't know what government that is, but you could see how not only would those details be important, but if it reveals sources of information, that's where people like the Director of National Intelligence would get really nervous. If you have to pull someone out of the field because all of a sudden they've become compromised, the person or people who are able to give that information to the United States, that's highly sensitive. Again, so sensitive, only a small number of people were supposed to see it. And we have already seen Trump's camp comment on this. Today, his director of communications started commenting on this on Twitter, saying that this was just another piece of the Washington Post continuing to serve as a propaganda arm of the Biden administration. Instead of operating openly and honestly, they collude in never-ending leaks and lies at the expense of the FBI and DOJ. Obviously, Trump not missing the chance here to go after the FBI, the Justice Department, and the Washington Post, which he would want to say are conspiring against him. But honestly, you know, the more we see reporting on this, the more critical it becomes just how sensitive these documents were and how high the bar was for the Justice Department to take the step in the first place to conduct that search in August.
Why we are where we are right now.
Exactly.
So the DOJ right now is still deciding whether to appeal that controversial decision by the judge to appoint a special master, a third party, to review the documents. Where does that stand? Are they going to do it?
Well, their deadline to put forward a candidate is Friday. So either they decide to appeal it in this very narrow window, or they have to put forward a candidate on Friday that the judge would hear. I thought it was interesting. Former Attorney General under Trump, Bill Barr, said that he didn't agree with the special master decision by that judge, and he thinks DOJ should appeal.
And Julia, while we have you, Hillary Clinton made some news. She had this interview with CBS. She commented on this, but also what's kind of making even more headlines here are some comments on Trump's alleged role in the Capitol riot, also comments herself about her losing the election. Tell us about what she said.
Right. She's basically saying that even in the position she was in, losing the election to Donald Trump, which made her unhappy, she would have never gone forward with something like what she says Donald Trump is responsible for, that being the insurrection on the Capitol. Here's what she had to say to CBS.
I would not be honest if I didn't say I think there was a seditious conspiracy against the government of the United States, and that's a crime.
Led by Donald Trump.
Led by Donald Trump. Was I happy when I beat Donald Trump by nearly 3 million votes but lost the Electoral College? No, I was not happy. Did I even for a nanosecond think I'm going to claim victory and try to get the Democrats to refuse to certify the election? No.
So a very candid exchange there from the former Secretary of State and former opponent of Trump. We haven't seen Trump comment yet on this, but something we're looking out for. He doesn't usually miss an opportunity to comment, especially when Hillary Clinton's involved.
Tell me that is to come.
All right, Julia, thank you so much.
Thanks,
and again,
it's
so
good
great
to
to
be
have
here
you with us.
Yeah.
Come back to 30 Rock more.
Let's move on to the governor's race in Massachusetts. In one of the final primaries before the November midterms, Republicans there chose Jeff Deal, a former state representative endorsed by Trump, over businessman Chris Doty, who was considered the more moderate pick. Deal's win is the latest victory for a Trump-backed candidate in a GOP primary, but he'll face a stiff challenge in one of the nation's most liberal states. Only 10% of Bay State voters are registered Republicans.
Deal will face Attorney General Maura Healey, who handily won the Democratic primary in the general election this fall. If Healey were to win that contest, she would become the state's first openly gay and first woman to serve as governor. The two candidates are vying to fill the vacancy left by the current governor, Republican Charlie Baker, who chose not to seek a third term.
The pivotal Senate race in Pennsylvania is ramping up. Dr. Mehmet Oz is on the attack against Democrat John Fetterman, who has refused to debate since suffering a stroke in May. And both candidates are getting presidential-level support, with President Biden and Mr. Trump on the ground in the battleground state over the weekend. NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hilliard has more.
The critical state of Pennsylvania is at the center of the political universe this week.
He's going to work and fight for Pennsylvania. Thank you.
Dr. Mehmet Oz facing an uphill battle to win his Senate race, a loss being a critical blow to Republicans' chances of winning back the Senate.
Doctors fix things. I would actively work to change us for the better.
Polls are showing Oz trailing Democrat John Fetterman, who campaigned alongside President Biden on Monday night in Pittsburgh, slamming Oz as an outsider.
How many homes does Dr. Oz have? 9, 10, 11?
But Fetterman so far refusing to debate Oz after suffering a stroke in May.
John Fetterman is either healthy and he's dodging the debates because he does not want to answer for his radical left positions, or he's too sick to participate in the debate.
Can you even imagine that if you had a doctor that was mocking your illness? Ridiculing that? Well, here we are.
Oz, in a state that Joe Biden won, walking a tightrope.
If you had been in the U.S. Senate on January 6th of 2021, would you have objected to the certification of the 2020 election and Joe Biden's win?
I would not have objected to it. By the time the delegates and those reports were sent to the U.S. Senate, our job was to approve it, which is what I would have done.
But also appealing to Trump loyal voters.
I believe in each and every one of you, and so should you. God bless you. This November, we're going to stand up to this rising tyranny of sickness, lawlessness, and death, and we are going to take back our country.
President Biden with his own attacks aimed at Trump.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
One of those MAGA Republicans, Doug Mastriano, running for governor of Pennsylvania. He was outside the Capitol on January 6 and has said he would not have certified Biden's win in the state. His Democratic opponent running this ad against him.
Body my choice is ridiculous nonsense.
Candidate Josh Shapiro telling NBC's Mike Memoli,
I'm running against the most extreme and dangerous candidate in the nation. Someone who talks openly about denying women the ability to make decisions over their own bodies. Someone who's talked about rigging the 2024 election already.
Now, as these two Republicans, Mastriano and Oz, try to forge their own paths forward, Oz was asked whether he will support his fellow Republican. He said, notably, that yes, he will support Mastriano in the full slate of Republican candidates, but stopped short of saying whether he would actually campaign alongside him or not. For Democrats, this U.S. Senate race is perhaps their best pickup opportunity here, and it's important to note that early voting begins in just a few weeks.
Coming quickly. Thank you, Vaughn.
Now, a settlement has been reached between e-cigarette maker Juul and nearly 36 states in an investigation into its marketing and sales practices. The states argue that Juul intentionally targeted teens with its ads and marketing strategies, which they say created a vaping crisis among the nation's youth. Juul agreed to pay nearly $439 million, but the company is not acknowledging any wrongdoing in the settlement. They say they're trying to, quote, resolve issues from the past, and that the settlement agreement was, quote, aligned with our current business practices, which we started to implement after our company-wide reset in the fall of 2019. Mark Gottlieb, a public health and research attorney who has worked in the field of commercial tobacco control for nearly 30 years, joins us now. Mark, thanks for being here. So let's walk through this. Tell us about the terms of this settlement first and how the money is going to be paid out to these states and who's going to benefit.
Well, it's, as you mentioned, just under $439 million. It's unclear on the schedule for payment. It's going to be probably over the next 4 to 6 years, and it's going to go to the states, much like the master settlement agreement money went to the states in the late 1990s when all those attorneys general settled with the cigarette companies. And many of the states hopefully will use some of this money for cessation efforts to help many of those teens, millions of them, in fact, who are addicted to Juul and to nicotine from using Juul.
Now, people might remember some of kind of this back and forth and drama here that surrounded Juul, even apart from this particular settlement. Just in June, the FDA ordered Juul to stop selling its products, full stop. But then a court banned that. A court blocked the FDA ban. So the products are still now for sale in the United States, temporarily at least. That's pending the FDA's scientific review of the company's technology as a whole. What will that review be looking at, and what are potential outcomes from that?
Well, the review is supposedly going to take a closer look at the chemical compositions of the products and what their impact on public health could be. I suspect part of the motivation for the settlement was, in fact, if Juul is on the hook to pay to more than half the states millions and millions of dollars a year, I think that puts some pressure on the FDA not to ban the products from the U.S. market entirely, because if they do that, then I don't think that Juul will necessarily be able to make those payments. So that may be part of Juul's strategy here.
That's an interesting point. All right, Mark, quickly before I let you go, this settlement, while it might be reached, Juul is still involved in several other legal battles. Give us a quick rundown on those.
Yeah, there's thousands of claims pending against Juul. Some of the states that haven't settled include California, New York, and Massachusetts, where I'm based. There are class actions. There are thousands of individual personal injury cases, and there are cases brought by school systems that lost time and resources because of what Juul had done, addicting basically a generation of teens from 2016 really through 2019. So there's quite a reckoning still to come for Juul.
Mark Gottlieb, thank you so much. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
Coming up on Morning News Now, class is back in session across the country.
And school safety is a bigger concern than ever, especially after the Uvalde shooting. The worries parents have about the new year and the new steps some schools are taking to try to keep kids safe. That's next.
As children head back to the classroom, fears over school shootings are weighing on the minds of American families.
Now, parents and school districts are taking steps to try to prevent another tragedy. NBC News correspondent Stephen Romo has the story.
At this school in northern New Jersey, seniors begin another year comfortable in these hallways. But a familiar fear also lurks around this school, like so many others across the country.
I know that there was a threat last year, and it was taken with the utmost importance.
It is scary thinking about how somebody could come into your school and do something like that, but I try not to think about negatives.
Just 4 months after the Uvalde massacre, parents and school districts are taking action to keep their children safe.
Now show me how you use your bulletproof backpack.
One Oklahoma mom going viral last week.
The shooter is in there. You do not say a word.
Cassie Walton running active shooter drills with her 5-year-old son before his first day of school. And it's not just children and parents reacting. A district in Oxford, Michigan introducing new tech. Biometric scanners that can detect weapons, new locks that make the doors impossible to open, in addition to demanding clear backpacks and hiring more armed personnel. All coming after a November 2021 shooting at Oxford High School that left 4 students dead and 7 injured. In Ohio, Governor Mike DeWine announcing funding for schools to implement upgrades like security cameras, automatic door locks, and visitor badges, while also allowing teachers to carry guns after less than 24 hours of training. Back here in New Jersey, the state's spending millions of dollars on digital maps like these. They show both public and private schools, and they're designed to give to first responders in the event of an emergency like a school shooting. Stuck between the schools and the politics are the parents.
With the shootings happening, it's just a fear. It's I think the ideology of raising a child in the United States, that's what's become the fear.
Some with children as young as 4, forced to have conversations about mass shootings.
When the Uvalde shooting happened, we didn't go into specifics with her. We did say that a lot of kids had gotten hurt and some of them were no longer with us. These are conversations I don't remember having as a child with my parents.
And for the students, excitement.
We have prom and homecoming, and I know it's super cliche, but it's a part of high school, and I'm really excited for that.
And concern.
It's scary for everyone in high schools everywhere.
As America begins a new school year.
Our thanks to Stephen Romo for that report. And about 1,500 schools in New Jersey have already been digitally mapped, and the state's goal is to eventually map all its schools. Local law enforcement will conduct annual walkthroughs to make sure the maps are accurate.
International headlines now, and the latest on that devastating earthquake in western China.
Janice Mackey-Frere joins us now from Beijing with that and more. Hey, Janice, good morning.
Good morning. Imagine your home shaking from a 6.8 magnitude earthquake and not being able to run outside because of a strict COVID lockdown. That is what's happening for 21 million people in the city of Chengdu. They're dealing with a lot of frustration. We're seeing videos all over social media. The lockdown and mass testing there have been extended. Authorities aren't saying when it's going to be over. And this is all over a few hundred cases. Meanwhile, the death toll from the quake that struck about 110 miles southwest of Chengdu is now rising at 74 people. The strongest cyclonic storm of the season continues to hit Asia hard. Typhoon Hinnamnor has triggered huge surf, gale force winds, and heavy rain. In South Korea, 7 people died in an underground parking lot when it filled with torrents of water. The typhoon is disrupting shipping. It's closed ports all over the region as it now heads northeast toward Japan. And heads up, carnivores. This Dutch city of Haarlem is banning meat ads because of the industry's impact on the climate. Now, beef production, as we know, generates a lot of greenhouse gases. The meat industry, though, says that the ban is a violation of freedom of speech. The law wouldn't take effect until 2024, but there is precedent. The cities of Amsterdam and The Hague have also banned ads for the aviation and fossil fuel industries. And that's a look at your headlines this morning.
Interesting, while we're talking about banning them, we're showing pictures of burgers, making people want to go.
Well, the news is not an advertisement, so there you go. All right, thank you, Janice.
Thanks. All right, coming up, schools are hoping COVID disruptions will be a thing of the past. We've got the latest on the COVID booster rollout for kids as classrooms prepare for potential outbreaks.
And what about the flu shot? What doctors are saying right now about this upcoming flu season and the best time for you to get that shot. Next. Welcome back. Updated COVID booster shots are now available for millions of kids returning to the classroom. But with changing CDC guidelines and a stubborn Omicron variant capable of spreading rapidly, school officials are worried disruptions in the classroom will be significant.
But not all children qualify for the new booster shot. Pfizer's the only booster shot available for children, and they have to be over the age of 12. Kids under 12 still don't have access to the booster targeting Omicron subvariants.
NBC News correspondent Cal Perry joins us now from the Children's National Hospital in Washington, where the updated boosters are being delivered today. Cal, good to see you. So with most kids still not eligible for a booster shot, what are health officials' biggest concerns about the return to school?
Well, look, I think the concern is as it was a year ago, right? The weather's getting colder, people are going to be inside more, and kids are going to be clustered in that school, and the mask mandates are pretty infrequent around the country, right? I'm joined now by Executive Vice President for Community and Population Health, Dr. Nathaniel Beers. I just wanted to start by asking you again, here we are again, right? I was here outside Children's Hospital a year ago telling people it's going to get colder. Where are we sort of a year ago? Give me a big picture where we are now.
Yeah, so we are definitely able to say that we now can vaccinate all children ages 6 months and up, which is great for us because certainly we know that vaccines do a great job at helping us prevent disease and also preventing serious consequences. So that is wonderful. We're also seeing some slowdown in rates in certain communities as we come back from summer vacations and certainly start school. We want to continue to see that. But know that we still have lots of disease in our communities, and certainly with the variants and the Omicron variants that we've seen, the capacity of those to spread quickly is still impacting the work and school environment.
And with that, how important is this booster that is designed to attack the Omicron variant?
Right, so the new booster for kids ages 12 and up is an important part of making sure that we continue to protect ourselves. We know that immunity wanes with time, and so whether you've gotten your primary series or your primary series and your booster, we know that having a booster that is more specific for the Omicron variant is going to help us do a better job of protecting kids and families and adults.
CDC, Dr. Fauci yesterday was saying he would like people to think about maybe having their kids get it with the flu vaccine. Is that something people should think about?
They definitely should. It's very safe to get both vaccines together, and we know that we saw lots of flu last year and expect to continue to see that again this year. We want to make sure that kids are protected from the flu vaccine and COVID vaccine as well as other childhood illnesses.
And for parents who are concerned maybe their child recently had COVID, should they wait to get that booster or should they go ahead and get it?
We are still recommending that they go ahead and get the booster, certainly working with your pediatrician to talking about the timing of that booster. You may not want to get it the day after you got over your COVID, but certainly within a couple weeks to a month or two after you've had a COVID infection, it is completely fine and recommended to go ahead and get that disease as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Beers. I appreciate you doing it, especially in rush hour traffic.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Guys, back to you as we head back to school. Parents are going to be taking their children, and you can, again, 12 and over, you can take your kids this week in cities like D.C. and get that booster.
Yeah, hey, Cal, quickly before we let you go, I mean, aside from vaccines, with the goal being to get schools through the year without being disrupted by outbreaks, what else should parents be keeping in mind, should teachers be keeping in mind to keep kids safe?
You know, one of the things Dr. Beers and I were talking about is masks, right? It works. Masks work. People didn't get so much the cold and the flu last year, even if there isn't a mask mandate in your school. If you have that outbreak, it's a tool that you can use. It's something to think about. It's not necessarily something you have to do. Masks are optional, but it is something you can do to protect yourself.
Cal Perry, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And staying on the subject of vaccines, the American Academy of Pediatrics is updating its advice on when you should get your child's flu vaccine.
Yeah, perfect segue from Cal there. NBC News medical contributor Dr. Natalie Azar joins us here on set with that and the rest of the health headlines that you might have missed this week, a segment we all know and love. All right, so tell us, what are these new guidelines when it comes to the flu shot?
Well, so the AAP came out with this because of the concern last year only about 55% of kids got their flu shots, which is actually on par with the national average. And not surprisingly, that number was even about 8% lower in children of color. So it's a concern, number one. The recommendation is actually not that different from years past, but especially now because we're concerned about having a bad flu season. We talked a lot about a twindemic the last couple of years. This year, we'll see if it actually materializes. The Southern Hemisphere had a really bad flu season, and that usually portends what we're going to have. But for the American Academy of Pediatrics, they're recommending 2 shots for children between the ages of 6 months and 8 years if they've never had a flu shot before or if they've only ever had 1 shot before. So that's important. So folks, parents out there, talk to your pediatrician about whether your child under the age of 9 needs 1 shot or 2 shots. Very, very important. Recommendations, doctor's orders for the general public, including kids, if you don't need 2 shots, we really recommend to get the shot before the end of October. You don't want to get it too early because immunity can wane and you don't want to get stuck in spring when flu season peaks and you haven't been vaccinated. Also, pregnant women in their 3rd trimester should get it now so your kids are protected when they're born. And 2 for 1, as you guys heard in the piece, okay to get the flu shot and the COVID vaccine on the same day so your little ones don't have to scream and cry twice.
Just get all those needles in at once.
Just maybe one big screaming and cry.
Exactly.
Let's move on from vaccines and talk about a study. This one's from Harvard and Tufts. It shows a link between eating ultra-processed food and colorectal cancer in men. So what types of food are we talking about and how much greater is the risk?
I know, you guys. The risk is about 29% greater for men who ate a lot of ultra-processed food. And they didn't find this association in women, which is interesting. Probably invoking
more to say about that.
some effect of estrogen, not surprisingly. But why is this so important? Have we not been talking for the last number of years about how the incidence of colorectal cancer has been increasing staggeringly in younger populations? And for a long time, we haven't really known why. So the experts who responded to this study have said, wow, this is really interesting because this is kind of giving us a little bit of, sort of an explanation for why this could be. And just to sort of identify or define what ultra-processed is, these are foods that are made in an industrial setting with ingredients that are usually lab-made. So think everything like sugary beverages, high processed meats, hot dogs, even things like, energy bars and things like that, which I know many of us consume. But the men in this study consumed like 8 to 9 servings a day of that. I mean, it was predominantly their diet, where the national average is around 3 to 4 servings a day. So my recommendations, doctor's orders, obviously, get your colon cancer screening. The age dropped for everybody from 50 to 45 a couple of years ago. You may even need to start earlier if you have certain risk factors. And remember, whole versus processed food. I always explain to my patients when they say, what's an anti-inflammatory diet? What's a healthy diet? Think of whole foods. Anything that's packaged, processed, all those additives, flavors, colorings, bad for you. Bad for you.
Yeah, bad for you. Tough to focus on that, but it's
easy to eat, right?
Yeah.
It's cheap. It lasts long on the shelf.
Right.
Absolutely.
So we have to obviously, make a comment about that because for people with a lower socioeconomic status, of course, they're going to be eating more of that food, and that is tough. And that's why we see that inequity.
Yeah. Quickly before we let you go, we've got this news, some productivity news as we head back into fall, maybe back into the office. A review of 22 studies. Researchers found taking short breaks during the workday is actually good for everybody's well-being, for getting things done. Tell us about this.
So this is good. So I want you guys to think of this concept of a micro break. So it doesn't need to be like 30 minutes. It can be 10 minutes or less. The number of times throughout the day doesn't actually matter. Basically, take it whenever you need it. The longer the break, the better the performance. If you do a short little break, it doesn't necessarily improve your productivity, but it improves your well-being. So my doctor's orders are switch it up. So maybe do some jumping jacks, watch a video, do something that relaxes you, get creative. It does not include, by the way, if you're doing work, then checking your emails. Like you have to do something that's completely separate from what you were doing at work. What's that?
Put your phone away.
Exactly. Like that's not, like now, I need to catch up on this. No. You want to do something that's completely different from the task that you're doing, and that'll help you feel better.
Gonna catch Joe and I in our offices doing jumping.
Yes, exactly.
I already do.
Yeah.
This is different from quiet quitting too, which is there you go.
All right, Dr. Azar, always great to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up, a news anchor is recovering this morning after suffering a stroke on air.
Next, the moment she realized something was wrong and the warning signs you should watch out for after the break. We're back with an update on a story NBC News first brought you in April about a team of cold case investigators here in New York. After seeing our report, one family finally got answers to a mystery that's haunted them for more than 3 decades. NBC News correspondent Stephanie Gosk has this story.
She was missing.
1990 was a long time ago.
You never know when it's the last opportunity you're going to see someone.
Ebony was 12 the last time she saw her mom, Myrtle Brown.
She was kind of going to New York to get away.
Myrtle's brother Robert was living in California. They had always been close.
I had a message on my answering machine. All she said was, "I'm trying to get a hold of you."
That's it.
Yeah. Back in those days, she didn't have a cell phone, so I was not able to call her.
She had called my grandmother to let her know someone stole her purse, her money, and it included some medication because she was epileptic. So she talked about going to the hospital so she could get a refill. And then that was the last moment, we ever heard from her.
The family checked the hospitals. They called the police, but nothing. Weeks and months with no answers turned into years and decades.
It was very hard, when you have your prom and just, becoming a young woman. It was hard.
She wasn't there for it.
No.
And you thought, because you didn't have an answer, that maybe she didn't want to be there.
Right.
Robert worried that she had suffered.
They found the pocketbook. How did they get the pocketbook? Did they beat her up?
Right.
Or was she raped?
Then this spring, he watched nightly news.
Who were they? People whose bodies were found but whose names were not. Cold cases.
Our story profiled an all-woman team in the New York City Medical Examiner's Office, trying to identify remains stretching back decades.
I saw a young lady and I said to myself, wow, I wonder if that could be her.
Maybe a day or two after the piece ran, a family member ended up calling our office. I took a look at the reconstruction and noticed, okay, I'm probably looking for a middle-aged black woman.
The recreation wasn't a match, but Dr. Soler had all she needed.
And we were also informed that she went missing in May of 1990, so I knew exactly where to start my search.
Dr. Soler called me.
And what did she say?
She says, Robert, I think we found your sister.
I said, well, I have a photograph that I can show you that will help us confirm this is her.
It gives you a chill a little bit, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
It took me a second to realize that's her.
Yeah, instantly. As soon as I saw the photo, like all 30 years, just, you know it. I knew it was her.
The family learned that Myrtle died from a seizure in an emergency room at a Brooklyn hospital. She didn't have ID. She was never formally registered.
When someone's in your mind missing, you don't close the chapter.
Yeah.
So we were able to do that.
You had a chance to say goodbye.
Yes.
Which is why Dr. Soler and her team take the calls. And they never give up. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
Thank you, Stephanie. Now to some financial headlines, starting with what's expected from Apple's annual event today.
NBC's Bertha Coombs joins us now with that and other news. Hey, Bertha.
Hey, good morning, Joe and Savannah. Got Apple holding its annual product event this afternoon. It's expected to unveil the new iPhone 14. The new device may not be all that different from the iPhone 13, except for one big change. Some analysts expect Apple will raise the price of the Pro models quite a bit, due partly from pressure from supply costs and the strong U.S. dollar. Now, the standard models are expected to stay at the same starting price, though. The iPhone is Apple's biggest business. It generates nearly 60% of the company's revenue. And Mark Zuckerberg announcing Meta Platforms will hold its annual virtual reality conference on October 11th. In a post on his Facebook page, Zuckerberg appears to be wearing a new VR headset. It's likely Meta's highly anticipated mixed reality device, codenamed Project Cambria. Meta has spent as much as $10 billion a year to make Zuckerberg's vision of a new software platform a reality. The headset is expected to cost about $800. Apple's reportedly set to launch its own VR headset next year. And are you heading back to the office this fall? Well, you can impress your colleagues with Lego people literally at your fingertips. A company called Mel Geek has created a customizable Lego mechanical keyboard. That's a type of keyboard where you can switch out all the keys. In this case, you can switch out the key switches and the entire case with Lego bricks. Keyboard called the Pixel is not officially licensed by Lego. You can reserve one now for just $1, and that will lock in a lower price of $199 when it does go on sale. And I'm told even though it's heavy and mechanical, they will have a wireless version. So,
looks cool.
Joe,
yeah,
I can see this on your desk.
Yeah, I may want one. All right, thank you, Bertha. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
An Oklahoma news anchor at our NBC affiliate in Tulsa is recovering this morning after suffering stroke-like symptoms during a live broadcast. Anchor Julie Chin said that she felt great at the top of her Saturday newscast, but within minutes lost partial vision in one eye, felt numbness, and stumbled over her words. NBC News correspondent Tom Costello tells us how her colleagues jumped into action.
The Tulsa Air and Space Museum is hosting a launch today.
The first signs of trouble came during KJRH Tulsa's Saturday morning newscast.
At the event, the event features live.
Anchor Julie Chin suddenly struggled to read the words on the teleprompter.
I'm sorry, something is going on with me this morning, and I apologize to everybody.
Staffers called 911. On Facebook Sunday, Chin wrote, "I'm so glad to tell you I'm okay. Doctors believe I had the beginnings of a stroke live on the air." Chin says she first started to lose vision in one eye. Then her hand and arm went numb and she couldn't speak. She spoke with her station in Tulsa.
They did all sorts of extensive testing on me. And the good news is that everything came out great. But the bad news about that is that we don't know why it happens and if it could happen again.
NBC's Dr. John Torres, an ER doc, says it could have been a TIA, sometimes called a mini stroke.
It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter your medical conditions, doesn't matter how athletic or non-athletic you are. Anybody can suffer a stroke at any time, and it always needs immediate attention.
To watch for possible stroke symptoms, remember be fast, balance or eyes that seem off, facial drooping, an arm that drops or drifts, slurred speech, time to call 911 to prevent permanent brain damage. Thankfully, Julie Chin's colleagues acted in time. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
Thank goodness for those colleagues, and glad she's doing okay.
Yeah.
In fact, Julie joined the Today Show this morning to talk more about her symptoms, how she's doing now. We're going to share some of that interview coming up in our next hour.
Yeah, I'm so glad she's okay. All right, coming up, students return to school for the first time after the deadly shooting in Uvalde.
And a library is helping provide comfort to some kids who are anxious about returning. We're going to show you the help that they're offering next. Actress Lea Michele made her highly anticipated return to Broadway last night as Fanny Brice in the revival of the musical Funny Girl. The crowd sang her praises with several standing ovations, with 4 of them reportedly happening before intermission. Some of Michelle's famous friends joined the audience for her debut, including Glee creator Ryan Murphy and actress Drew Barrymore. New York Governor Kathy Hochul was also there, so I think it's safe to say nothing can rain on Lea Michele's parade. I know a couple people who were there last night. One described it as simply spectacular. Another, Frank Delella, who's been on our show before, simply said, wow, said 7 standing ovations in all for her.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Well, that's fun. I bet it was fun to be in that audience. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you'll be there soon, Joe.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Now, it's back to school season, which means college football is here. This season, there's a greater focus on mental health among players. As part of our Kids Under Pressure series, Stephanie Gosk sat down with University of Alabama head coach Nick Saban and Heisman Trophy winner Bryce Young for an exclusive interview about the mental health struggles our college athletes are facing.
We're all going to have bad things that happen, but our ability to overcome those negatives is going to go a long way in helping us be successful.
Coach Nick Saban knows what it takes to be a champion.
His 7th national championship.
Throughout his historic 42-year college coaching career, 16 seasons at Alabama, he's produced more NFL first-round draft picks than any other college coach.
Nose tackle, Alabama.
But to get his players to that level, the work doesn't just take place on the field.
All college athletes face pressure. How do you have a conversation with them in managing that pressure?
Pressure is kind of self-inflicted, and it's self-inflicted because you're focused on results. We want to focus on winning a championship. Or do you want to focus on what do I have to do each day to be able to be a champion so we'll have a chance to win a championship?
Quarterback Bryce Young won the Heisman Trophy as a sophomore. With the accolades came the expectations, and it can get intense. Fans are looking to him to deliver another championship.
I feel like a lot of times athletes can be put on this pedestal, and as athletes we can internalize that. And we can feel like we're looked at as a certain way. We should be great at everything. Everything should come easy, and that's just not the case.
Do you worry sometimes about letting people down? It's a natural thing to feel.
Yeah, I care immensely for the people I play with, for my teammates, my brothers. I have great parents who have sacrificed a bunch. This school has supported me a lot, and I want to make everyone proud.
Regardless of the game's outcome, Coach Saban enforces his 24-hour rule. 24 hours to dwell on the game just played, the good and the bad. Then they have to let it go.
You're a player for this team. When something goes bad on the field, it's not just a couple of people. I mean, they have hundreds or thousands of people in their DMs telling them pretty hateful things. What effect does that have?
You have to go back to being technical. Okay, why did this happen, and what can I do to fix it? Rather than being so focused on the criticism or what everybody else thinks, because you control your thoughts, you control your feelings.
Is it tough to get these big, tough, super successful football players to talk about touchy-feely stuff?
I don't think it's as difficult now as it used to be, because I don't think the players really look at it as I have something wrong with me. They look at it more like, maybe I could use the help. And it's always good to emphasize with people, take help when help is there to be given. Not a bad thing.
Senior defensive lineman DJ Dale asked for help after experiencing a season-ending knee injury.
I was depressed and I didn't even know it. Well, I knew it, but I didn't want to admit it to myself.
Dale went to Coach Saban.
He told me that he appreciated me and that he knew I was a tough player, and I didn't want him to think that I was weak or turning my back against the team, but it was the complete opposite.
He's back on the field now, but studies show injuries can trigger depression and other emotional responses, like changes in appetite and lack of motivation in athletes. Dr. Brett McCabe worked with Dale. He's the university's sports psychologist. He's part of a team of more than 20 trained behavioral health professionals at Alabama.
An injury for the first time in an athlete's career is the first time that they realize they may be a mortal athlete. All of a sudden it's hard. And so while they're cheering for the team, there's still that self-loss sometimes of, oh my gosh, they're going on without me.
Our society, he says, has put a premium on perfection in athletics and in class. It can be unfair and hard for students to manage.
Our kids are coming in with more pressure, more standards to perform, and more expectations from the world around them. We don't give people grace and time to grow into things as a society.
Support, he says, needs to come from home as well.
When you have tough conversations with athletes and they talk about their parents, what are you hearing from them?
They don't want to disappoint them. Every kid that's out here knows where their parents are sitting or their family is sitting. At the end of the day, they want approval. And as parents, we need to let them know it's okay to not be okay. And sometimes all you have to do is send a text to your kid and just say, thinking of you, love you. And that goes a long way.
Our thanks to Stephanie Goss for that important report. And according to an NCAA survey, the rates of mental exhaustion, anxiety, and depression in student athletes are nearly 2 times higher than before the pandemic.
We're going to end this hour in Uvalde, Texas, where the grieving community has found a place to gather and to heal.
NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson visited a Uvalde library that's celebrating the lives of those lost in the Robb Elementary School shooting while helping the survivors process the tragedy.
Balloon eats. Now wait, I need these.
It's a place where children are normally told to be quiet.
But here at El Progreso Memorial Library in Uvalde, joy. Third grader Alana De Leon, her mom, and other families have been coming all summer.
I brought her because this is a positive distraction from everything that's kind of been going on.
Alana lost her friend Annabelle Rodriguez in the Robb Elementary shooting.
She is the one with that wonderful dress.
Does anybody know what this story is?
For the kids, fun activities help them process their loss.
The balloons are really fun, and sometimes when the balloons pop, it gets rid of bad memories of mine.
Art therapy, grief counseling, even conga lines weaving through bookshelves. What do you think families are looking for when they come here?
Peace and normalcy.
Library Director Mindel Morgan has filled the entryway with tributes from around the country.
This was done by children in Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
The newest addition, a bench honoring the 21 victims.
When a child sits on this bench, what do you hope they think about?
Well, I hope that they will think of the children that were victims of this terrible event, but I hope that it will also mean to them that there is life beyond the despair.
A source of hope and healing as the community moves forward. Priscilla Thompson, NBC News, Uvalde, Texas.
And that does it for this hour of Morning News Now.
But the news continues right now.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.